How you doing, Team Up? Hard News of Murdock. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The orange reign is finally over, and we don't have to talk about Donald Trump anymore, at least as far as for him to be the president. Yeah, he just pardoned Lil Wayne and Kodak Black, but personally, who give a damn about that? Okay, I mean, maybe there's some concern because he pardoned Steve Bannon in the process, but really, that's more of a slap in the face to Trump supporters because Steve Bannon was in jail for frauding people on the Build the Wall campaign to pay off some of his own personal finances and to enrich himself. So with that, I say enough with the clown show because we have more important things in this country that we need to focus on. We have a new administration coming in with a whole lot on their plate, and we need to make sure that we get them to focus on the things that they need to handle within the first 100 days of the new presidency because it's of the utmost importance, okay? And with that being said, let's get into this. Now, to say that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have their work cut out for them is an understatement because we have over 150,000 jobs lost last month alone. The economy is in a downward spiral, a rise of evictions around the country as the moratoriums come to an end, and COVID has claimed over 400,000 lives in America. All that plus climate change still posing a threat in the background while all this is still going on. But at least the new administration is more focused on the problems opposed to focus on themselves because within the first 100 days, he planned on re-entering the Paris Climate Agreement, forgiving student loan debt, and extended the eviction moratoriums throughout the entire year of 2021. And all of this is definitely a step in the right direction opposed to what we was dealing with over the last 4 years. Now, there's a lot more to this. Here's a more in-depth report. Take a look, and we discuss on the other side. Check it out for yourself.
The nation's 46th president.
We're going to act. We're going to act to get COVID under control beginning on day one.
Vowing sweeping action in his first day on the job.
We're going to get to work, delivering results right away on day one. We're going to reverse Trump's rollbacks of 100 public health and environmental rules.
Joe Biden plans to sign a dozen executive actions just minutes after taking the oath, including one imposing a nationwide mask mandate for 100 days.
It will start with my signing an order on day one to require masks where I can under the law, like federal buildings, interstate travel on planes, trains, and buses. We need your help. Wear a mask for just 100 days. It's the easiest thing you can do to reduce COVID cases, hospitalizations, and death.
With the stroke of a pen, Biden will roll back some of Donald Trump's most controversial policies, ending the national emergency at the southern border and freezing new construction of the wall, a barrier some border residents have been fighting to keep from their backyards.
There's no invasion. There's no crisis, no national emergency. The national emergency that we have right now is a pandemic.
He'll restore DACA for young undocumented immigrants, pause all deportations, and reverse a travel ban on visitors from 13 countries.
On day one, I'll end Trump's unconstitutional Muslim ban. I'll push Congress to pass hate crimes legislation.
And 2 years after Trump ended that controversial child separation policy, Biden will create a task force to heal those families still broken apart.
Immediately on day one, I'm setting up a special commission. We're going to find those kids, and we're going to unite them with their parents.
Sources say President Biden on day one will affirm global alliances like NATO and the United Nations, which Trump openly criticized. He plans to immediately rejoin America to the World Health Organization and re-sign the Paris Climate Accord.
On day one, when I'm elected president, I'm going to invite all of the members of the Paris Accord to Washington, D.C.
On civil rights, Biden will reinstate protections for transgender Americans, which Trump rolled back in healthcare, education, and the military. His team also preparing to immediately extend a moratorium on evictions and on payments for federal student loan debt. Welcome relief for millions of families, especially those of color.
It's a burden on families. It rips through families, communities, generations. These are generational curses that we are fighting to break right now.
And as COVID response falters nationwide, Biden vowing to activate emergency resources to create thousands of community vaccination centers.
On my first day in office, I'll instruct the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to begin setting up the first of these centers.
But some of Biden's biggest campaign promises won't come quickly or easily.
To gun owners out there who say, well, a Biden administration means they're going to come for my guns.
Bingo, you're right if you have an assault weapon.
New gun controls, elimination of the Trump tax cuts, forgiveness of student loans, and citizenship for millions of immigrants will all require approval from Congress.
And the first thing I'm going to do, literally, I've already have one written. On day one, I'm sending to the United States Congress a immigration bill providing a pathway for 11 million undocumented, and I'm going to make sure every dreamer is protected.
Sources say Biden's immigration bill lays out an 8-year process to legalize undocumented immigrants. After paying taxes and passing a background check, millions could get green cards within 5 years and citizenship 3 years after that. But the plan would need Republican votes to pass.
The Democrats only control the Senate 50-50, with the tie-breaking vote going to Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. So the question of whether they can do everything they want to do is very much up in the air. And in fact, they probably can't do everything they want to do.
And first, Biden will need his nominees for the cabinet confirmed by the Senate. The confirmation process already lagging behind, delayed by runoff elections in Georgia and a changeover in party control to Democrats.
President-elect Biden will really work to try to turn the page on the divisiveness and the hatred of the last 4 years and really lay out a positive, optimistic vision for the country and lay out a path forward that really calls on all of us to work together.
After his inaugural address, Biden will take a symbolic step towards setting that new tone, joining the Obamas, Bushes, and Clintons for a tribute at Arlington National Cemetery.
Present.
A day one salute to service and sacrifice as President Biden moves quickly on an ambitious agenda for his first term.
Order.
For ABC News Live, I'm Devin Dwyer in Washington.
Now, one of the main reasons why I made this report is because I don't want us to go back to sleep just because we obviously have a more responsible administration coming in opposed to what we was dealing with over the last 4 years, okay? We have to make sure that we're paying attention to what they're doing and what they're saying and that they're keeping true to the promises that they made coming in. Because one of the reasons why we have so many problems in this country is because we often let them come in and we never hold them accountable for their actions. And that needs to stop because the country is tipping in a very bad direction and we need to come back in the other direction to get us back to balance. Because if we don't, I don't know how much worse things can get, but they always could. And let's try and avoid that, okay? And with that being said, that's all I have. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. Remember, the revolution is unclassified. Later.